Hey yo, what's good, everybody? I'm Malcolm McFadden, creator of 615 Comics, and yo, a nerd here. And today I'm just giving y'all some tips for new comic book creators. All right. So I began my comic book journey. I'm in year three. I'm in my junior year of comic book creating for real. And I get asked a lot of questions about how I got started, different questions about things that I do, and so I kind of made this video around like four things that I get asked all the time by creators, comic book creators, people that are just thinking about jumping into comics, people that want to start comic book creating. I get asked a lot of questions, and I'm always willing to answer. So I figured just make a video about it. You feel? Make a video answering the four main questions I get asked all the time, and it's dope because they're kind of structured in a way that I can structure this video so I can make it real easy for y'all. So that's what I'll be doing today. I'll kind of just be giving tips for beginner comic creators because I myself am still a beginner and I'm still learning. All right, I'm not like a veteran out here. I'm not like LeBron in like year 30. You feel me? So I'm still in the junior year, third year of comic creating. So I just wanted to give a couple tips, things that work for me that have helped me, gain a little bit of success in this comic book creating world. All right. So I'm not gonna keep y'all too long. I'm not gonna make this video super long. So let's just get straight into it. One of the questions I get asked a lot is basically just how I just get started making my comic book. And one thing that surprises me a lot is this first thing: write it. Write the comic book. One thing that surprised me a lot is how people have these grand ideas, these big grand ideas, these long thought out ideas. These people have made like Bibles for their comic book ideas, but have yet to actually write the comic book. Like, you can't make the comic book unless you write it. All right. Like, you can do all the brainstorming you want, but none of that matters unless you sit down and write that comic out. So, like, sometimes you just need to get out of your brain and put that down on paper. Like, just write it. Just write it. Like, yeah, you would be mind blown how many people just don't even do this step. Like, they just don't even start with this step. They want to get started in the comic creating, and they spend so much time just building this world, all these ideas and everything, but never spend the time to write it. Bro, just write that shit. Just write the comic book, bro. Like, you got all these ideas, stop procrastinating. Just write that joke. Start getting your ideas down, even if it's just like with me sometimes. I'll have an idea and it'll literally just be a page. And I'll literally just write that page, no dialogue. I'm just writing the scenes to that page. I have no characters for this scene or whatever. I just think this scene will be dope. So I write it. Or maybe there's a conversation that comes in my head that I'm thinking these two characters having this conversation would be dope. I may not even have an actual conversation, actual character in mind, but I have the conversation, the dialogue, and I just write it. I write the scene out. Sometimes you just gotta start writing, bro. Get out of your head and just put the work in. And writing is the easiest step. Okay, writing is probably the easiest step, especially if you're a creator, you already create. So now you're just creating more. And I'm telling y'all, writing don't cost you nothing. Comic book creating, one thing you're gonna learn is comic creating costs a lot of money. There's a lot of money that goes into comic book creating. But writing don't cost you nothing. It costs you nothing to just write. All right, you don't need no crazy app. You don't need nothing for us. So I'm gonna kind of show y'all. Me myself, when I first started getting to comic writing, I had a friend. He writes movie scripts. He makes movies. He films movies. He writes them, directs them, all that. All right. Shout out to Smooth. So Smooth, he kind of showed me this app called Celtic. All right, this app was called Celtic, and it had a comic book format in it. It kind of it helps you format your pages in comic book form for your scripts, right? Well, Celtic was all buggy and weird, and it stopped working for me for real, for real. All right, so I had to go a new route, and I couldn't really find an app. Everything was trying to make me pay for it, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I forgot who told me. It's probably my wife, because she gives me all my good ideas. Was saying, hey, you should just use Google Docs, and I was like, was Google Docs, and it's right. You get it free with a Gmail, all right. And I just write all my scripts on Google Docs. All right, I'm actually going to share a script with y'all from Google Docs. Let me bring that up right now. It's an old script of my comic of Vorley, A New Breed. All right, it's an old script. I don't even know if this is like the finished script, but it's a script that I found. So this is the script here, right? And this script here, this was the first page. Like this is how kind of how I format. I've seen other creators format their pages different, but this is kind of how Celtic formatted. And so that's how I formatted. I got my page, my panel, what goes on in the panel. Also with your panels, you can get super detailed if you want to, but sometimes less is more. Like sometimes I'll really keep it really keep it simple. Like security guard running in fear inside the lobby of Well Labs. Real simple. You don't have to do a whole description of things unless it pertains to the artist and you want them to kind of do that. That's kind of where you would kind of get descriptive. But some scenes are kind of just, you know, really simple. But this is how I format my pages. I've seen other creators do it different, but this is kind of how I format my pages. Now I'm thinking this is an old script because there are no sound effects in this. I have no written sound effects, just dialogue. So sound effects will kind of look like this. I will put sound effects, boom, boom, like if something exploded, you know, I'll put boom. And if it's a certain thing in the page, I need them to really, and I don't know if they're gonna know what I'm talking about, I'll be like car exploding. All right. And my letterist normally knows what I'm talking about when I put that in there. So, like I said, script writing is the easiest part. It's the easiest part. It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. That's how I do my scripts. I've seen other writers do different, but you can watch other videos of people how they structure their comic book scripts. But that's how I do mine, and it's worked for the most part. So that's number one, y'all. Real simple. And this, you know, it's not rocket science. Write that shit. You got it in your head, get it out your head, put it on paper, put it on Google Docs. All right. And also, Google Docs is dope because it gives you a certain amount of gigabytes before you gotta start paying. I'm over that right now, so I gotta pay. But hey, that's it's not even that much. It's like $2 or something. You feel me? So it's real easy. But Google Docs, that's what I use. I don't know of any other way. Ever since I started using Google Docs, it's kind of just what I've been doing since Celtic messed up on me. But yeah, real easy, y'all. Write. Just start writing. That's step one. I know people have like these whole Bibles and everything in their head, all these characters. That's dope. But none of that matters if you don't write it. So that's number one. Now we're getting to number two, which number two to me is the most important because everything afterwards, literally, it helps that. All right. And so number two, join the community. And what I mean by that, join the community. Right now, we're in a dope time where social media, there is communities on social media. Like you don't have to leave your house to join the community. All right. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Blue Sky now. There's like a 50 million things right now. All right. TikTok, until that gets banned again. So there's a whole bunch of things right now that you can use to be a part of the community and easy ways to find them. All right. So Facebook, you can easily go on Facebook. Me, I'm a black nerd, so I literally just looked up Blurred and I found a whole bunch of people like me. Also, being an indie comic book creator, I just looked up indie comics, and that also was kind of real easy for me because I'm a fan of comics before you know, like being a comic book creator. I was a fan of the indie comics, so I kind of was already in the community. I was doing videos on people's indie comics and everything. I was already in the community to begin with before I started creating comics. But join the community, create social medias, Instagram, Facebook. Start liking people's posts, engaging in people's posts. If you have any artwork, maybe you draw up some artwork for references, share those. Share some of your ideas. Like get out there, put yourself out there. All right. I know you guys. I'm gonna say this. I know some of us are introverts. Some of us don't want to be putting ourselves out there. But if you want to like put your comic out there and make money from it and you know have success, you gotta put yourself out there. All right. Or pay somebody to put themselves out there for you. All right, you feel me? But join the community. Be in the community. One of the biggest things I learned, somebody said this to me, I can't even remember who, but like they said, be where you want to be, like be in that community, be present. That's what it was. Just be present, you know, be known. Like they say back in the day when like the Jay-Z's and everything, like they were just in the studio, like they was in the studio with people getting noticed by studio, like Kanye was literally just around in the studio and opportunities came like that. Like be in the community. And I'm telling you, this right here will help you with every step I'm going forth after that. And let me look at my notes so I don't go off track, make sure I'm telling you everything. All right, yes. Like I'm right on track. This will help you help everything after this. Join the community, start commenting, liking, asking other talk to other creators. One of the biggest things I did when I started creating comics was just talking to creators, getting their ideas and looking at what they do, looking at what they do. I played sports in high school, and one thing my brother told me was, take different parts of people's games and make it to yours. Things you different like, things that you like that they do, add it to yours, right? And that's the same thing with this. Look at other creators that are doing it. For me, it was Wiseacre Comics, it was Godhood Comics, it was Concrete Comics. I was seeing how they would do things, how they were promoting, and I would take notes like, okay, I like that. I think I can implement that. I can implement that in this way to make it my own and how they did it. Like, be a student of the game, join the community. Like I said, be a part of it. Be if you want to be a comic book creator, be where the comic book creators are. And then also that is also where the fans will be. That's where you'll find your audience. All right. Join the community will definitely help you find your audience, which I'll talk about a little bit more later because I told you this helps every step from here. All right. So, like I said, once you have anything, if you have anything shared on social media, Instagram's a great place because it's a very visual app and this is a very visual medium. So, Instagram is a great place. TikTok is a great place. Just places you can share your artwork. Threads is pretty cool now. Like, just join the community. I know, like I said, I know it's hard, being out there. Social media sometimes sucks, but you can also tailor your timelines to be more so what you want to see. All right. And so that's one thing that helped me, and then that's one thing that people ask me all the time is like, how can I do these certain things? And joining the community is really a big answer to that. How can I promote? How can I find my audience? How can I do this? Join the community. Be here. All right. And then this easily segues me into my next thing that people ask me all the time. Like I said, these are things that I get asked all the time that I easily share. So I just made a video of it. And next one is finding an artist. So I'm looking at my notes, make sure I got everything. Finding an artist. Okay, this one for me, this also goes for finding an editor. This goes for finding a writer. This goes for all of that. Okay, so for me, I'm a writer and creator. I can't draw because my drawings suck. They are trash. All right, so I need to hire somebody to do it for me. So find an artist. This was something that kind of also was easy to me because I joined the community. Once you join the community, especially you start following other indie creators, you see the artists that they use. A lot of them will tag their artists. You see this artist they use, follow those artists, which will lead to you to follow more artists. You'll start seeing other ones. And also, oh, sorry, just a little backtrack real quick. Sorry, I got ADHD, but also coming into comic creating, some people don't honestly know this. Creators that I've talked to didn't notice that artists don't do both all the time. Artists don't always do the colors and the inks. Like sometimes they're separate. So you may have to find an artist that does the inks and then someone to color it. You may have to find somebody that does the pencils and then find somebody that does the inks and then find somebody that colors it. All right. And they all don't do the lettering. Like that's a rude awakening for some creators when they jump into it. They think that they found one person that's a one stop shop. But no, it's not. Different people do different things. You will find some artists that do all of them. All right, you find some studios that have artists that do everything that you can hire, but sometimes you may have to fire artists and hire a colorist, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit too. But let's get into finding artists and finding these colorists and finding these editors and everything. Like I said, being in the community, you'll see other creators posting their artists. That's one way I started finding artists. I seen that these artists were working with these creators, and that also helped me know that they have done comic book art before. All right, especially interior arts, covers and posters and everything are different. Interior art comes with like its own skill set. You feel me? Like its own skill. Like basketball, like they're shooting and dribbling. Some people are great at shooting. Some people are great at dribbling. Right. So it's kind of like that where you have your artists who are great cover artists, but they may not be so great at interior artists, right? So you got to kind of cipher through that and find those too. But you want to just see these people, and especially if you see that they've done comics before and seen their style, see if their style matches yours. But definitely being a part of the community, you'll find artists like that. If you're not part of the community, you want to find artists, there's this site I'm actually going to share with y'all right now. It's a really good site. A lot of people use it. It's called Fiverr. All right, Fiverr is actually a pretty cool site. I found when I first started, to one of the first artists I hired was through this website. All right, and it has a lot of dope artists. You kind of got to cipher through it. Not all these people are like legit. You can see people's scores, and then some of them have like have actually, this is a guy that I've used before. He actually has really good artwork. Um, like people have like gigs, and then they'll have their portfolio, and also have like reviews of people that they've used before. Like here, they'll drop like their pictures. Like here, this is a picture that this guy's done before. You feel me? So that's one way you can, like, it'll help you vet people. All right, but Fiverr is a really good site. Real easy. I went to it, put in comic book art. If you want manga, you just put manga artist. You feel me? And then go through it. You can contact the artist through here. Everybody has their different rates. And you can also do colorists. You can find colorists, you can find editors through Fiverr. All right. Fiverr is actually a really good source to help indie creators, to find artists, colorists, everything. One of my biggest sources, like I told y'all, is Instagram. Instagram is a big source for me because I follow a lot of artists, and then I follow one thing that's actually pretty cool. So I follow a lot of artists that do inks, and then so they'll do inks and they'll have other colorists color it for them, and then I can find colorists through that, right? And then that's an easy way to find artists, easy through Instagram. Like I told you, being part of the community, it's real easy to find these people. There's Twitter, Facebook. Facebook has groups that literally, it's a Facebook group that says indie comic connectors, that comic writer connecting comic writers and artists. There's Facebook groups for this that literally people will post their artwork, post their portfolios, post their colors, and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. These are my rates," or they'll say, "Hit me up." It's real easy. Social media can be a really dope tool for indie creators. All right, it allows us to connect with people across the world. A lot of my some of my artists aren't even in the United States. I get artists from Brazil, Africa. There's some in the United States, but it helps you connect people from all over the world. So definitely use social media to your advantage. It's can easily be as Google things, you feel me? Like, or just go on Facebook and be like groups for comic book creators. Like you can literally do that. You can probably put like groups for foot fetish. Actually, that's probably pretty easy. But like, yeah, you can put it in for anything and find it. So, like I said, I'm a blurred. I put in blurred black nerds and found a lot of stuff like that. That's also where I found my audience for my comic books. So that is an easy way to do that. All right. And when you find this artist, people ask me all the time, like, how do I find artists and approach them? You approach them. Real easy. Just hit it, slide in their DMs. Be like, one thing this is literally what I say, word for word, maybe word for word. I say, hey, I like your artwork. I'm interested in hiring for some artwork. What are your prices? And I normally ask for cover prices, interior art prices, and poster prices. Different artists have different prices for different things, whether it be a cover or poster, they have prices for that. In their interior artwork, they have prices for that. Also, it may depend on how many heroes you or characters you put in the picture. Everyone has their different prices. I normally just go in, ask them, hey, I like your artwork. I like you. You feel me? And I like your artwork. And so, what are your prices for, covers, interior art, and posters? And normally they'll get back to you, let you know what their prices are. Some people ask you what your budget is. Sometimes like you can go into this with a budget already ready, or you can go into talk to these artists and then find out their prices and then put your budget around their prices. Especially if you're a new creator, I think I think it can help you a lot by just start seeing what these prices are. Because if you're a new creator and you know nothing about this, you don't know how much these people charge. If you're not an artist yourself, you don't know how much people know charge for artwork. You feel me? Like when I went into, I didn't know how much people was charging for their artwork. So I just started asking people, asking different artists, just getting different answers. Bringing it all in and kind of preparing my budget around what these artists say. Especially if I really like the art and I want to use them, I prepare my budget for that. All right. So easy way to talk to these artists is slide in their DMs and ask them about their prices, and also ask them their process, like their what time, how long they take to do a page, how many pages per week can they do, so you can get your time and set and what you want to do set. All right. And also with finding the artist, like I say, artists, some artists do different things. So one thing I like to do is I kind of like to find, if I know if I know this guy only does inks, I kind of like to see who he's worked with before for colors. So like if he has a certain colorist that he works with, I kind of like to match it, especially if the artwork already goes together. So that's one thing I like to do. It has worked well for me. My artist for Subject Zero and my artist for the King's Domain, those are people that have worked together before and done different things. So that's one thing I like to do, and I find it helps because they probably already communicate. You know, they probably already know each other's styles. So that's one thing that can help. But yeah, finding an artist is real easy. Just being a part of the community, googling it, talking to these artists. But make sure you talk to them. Make sure you know their style works with your style, the style that you're looking for. If they have samples, definitely ask for samples. Ask for as many samples as possible so you can see what their art style is. And me typically, I like to go with people who have social media accounts because they're real people. You feel me? So like we deal with a lot of people that scam and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that this person is real, especially if you're paying your money and you're putting your money out there. Also, and speaking of money, artists also have their different ways of being paid. Some artists like to be paid maybe a percentage up front and then a percentage when they're done. A couple of my artists, one of my artists, he says he wants you to wait for the work to be done and then you pay for it. Like he'll send you a low resolution, and then once you like it and accept it, you send payment. He'll send you the high resolution. Like everybody has their different process, so it's kind of when you, and also if they're not from this country, how they may get paid may be different. You may need different apps. Some people can't take PayPal, Cash App, but sometimes you may need different apps. So it's kind of good to talk to these artists, figure out their process and how they like to be paid, so you can know how you need to go about it. You know, like if you need to get an app, and then also kind of building a rapport. I sometimes I use the same artist a lot because I know how I'm gonna pay them. I know I got their payment saved. I can just put boop boop, send money, boom boom. It's easy to do, you know. So really talking to these artists and communicating with them is a very big part of it, and especially if they're not from this country. So sometimes there's a language barrier and stuff like that, but communication is key. With almost everything, communication is key to talking to these artists. And hope I'm not rambling because I've pretty much said all my notes that I got here. All right. But yeah, like I said, I like to match artists that work together already. I like to see artists that have already worked on comic books, and artists that that match my style and match my feel. So, and like I said, find artists is pretty easy. Talk to artists is just sliding in DMs, just having a conversation with them. And then that brings us into my next part, marketing and promoting, because this is one thing that a lot of us have trouble with. Even me, even me. Sometimes I feel like I'm just throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks. You feel me? So this is a question I get asked a lot about marketing and promoting. And one thing for me, I'll just give you my tips on what I think has worked for me. Comic books is a visual medium. All right. Us as writers, we need to take that on the chin. And then I know some of us as writers have egos, like my story is so great, everybody's gonna love my story, blah da 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 da. All right, wrong. All right, so it doesn't matter what your story looks like, it matters what your story is. If I see it on the shelf and I don't not interested in it, I'm not gonna get it. All right, you know that what happens. We're in a very visual medium. So visuals, think about the visual, things about you want to see, especially with marketing, things about things that capture your eye, things about things that you like to see from promoting thing videos and reels and stuff like that. So when I go into promoting and marketing, I just think visual. I think that this is a very visual medium. Wait, how can I capture people's eyes real quick so they look at my book? That's always been my thought. And so one of the things, I'm gonna share something with y'all that I have. Let me share this with y'all. So when I first started, my first character I put out was, her name is Avorley. All right, and this is Avorley right here, and this is one of the very first artworks I got from her. From my artist Serge. He's real fire. Me and him work together a lot, build a good rapport. I love his artwork, and it really matches my style. And He did this image of Vorley. He actually normally does inks, but this is one he did colors too for me, which was actually pretty dope. And this one was very eye capturing. Like I got a lot of likes and follows just off this picture alone and posting it on social media because it just she looks powerful. She's like out there in the cosmos. It's just fire artwork. All right. At the end of the day, it's just fire artwork. It's not even very it's not even creative. She's just sitting here showing off her powers, but it's eye catching, capturing. So that's one thing that when I started combo creating, I came in with I want dope artwork of my characters. I want people to see these characters because I think I wanted dope designs for these characters because that is the first thing you look at. Like just like the first thing you see. Like Spider-Man, I think he captures a lot of people's eyes because his character design is dope. Like his suit, the black and the I mean the blue and the red is tough. You feel me? So like that's one thing I thought about when I go into marketing and promoting is just to have eye catching stuff, things that people are going to look at, things that people are going to want to see, you know, because I love my stories. I think my stories are great, but if first things first, they need to see these characters before they come into my story. So and that kind of goes, and what I'm ready to say is kind of goes to the last couple steps: join the community and find an artist. um Once you join the community, build a fan base, build up people who want to see it, and then you have, of course, you have your Instagram where you start posting everything, and you start finding different artists. Different artists have different followings. All right, so getting different artists to their artwork and then tagging them in it or having them post to their page also can help you find different fans because artists have fans. There's artists that I'm a fan of that I will get their books for whatever the story. I'll get it just for the artwork. All right, so that is one way to that will help you easily promote, find different artists, being in a community, also show support, and people show support back. There are some, how can I put this, assholes in the comic book community, just to say that, but there's a lot of great people and there's a lot of dope people. Like just being a fan and like being in the community and supporting their artwork, they'll show support back to you, if even if it's just a share, you know, even if it's just a share to their fans. That's another way to promote and just, like I said, being a part of the community. Also being a part of the community, there's groups. There's a dope group called Indie Breakdown Versus Group. All right, this is a dope group for indie creators to put their heroes out there and have them battle other heroes, and then it's a easy way to promote. All right, it's a very dope group. All right, there's many groups you can join for that are looking for indie books. Like I said, on Facebook, like a lot of groups I said before, these same groups that you could find fans and people to promote your book. All right, just making sure I'm on with all my notes. Okay, also with promoting, this is awesome. This is notes I was ready to miss. Also, you know, being on social media, like I said, studying other people, see what other people are posting, see what people like. You post something and see if people like, see what people are attracted to. Test it out. There's this really dope creator. She's called, her name is Moon the Storyteller. She writes for Concrete Comics, writes a story called Luna, and she does a great YouTube about marketing and promoting. All right, and then so she, like she says all the time, like you need to be out there promoting your stuff so people can see it. She herself is a great marketing promoter. Like seeing what she does and how she promotes can also help you, but you need to be out there. You need to put yourself out there. All right. Tyler of God Could Comics says like there's people that want to be comic creators and comic entrepreneurs, and you got to kind of figure out what you want to be. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to put your face out there. If you're gonna have to put yourself out there and then kind of be a part of the community and promote to do that. All right. So I know, like I said, we're all introverts, but you kind of got to just start putting yourself out there, make some videos. They have a lot of dope apps that can help you make these videos. All right. I'm kind of running up on time. I didn't want to make this video too long. But yeah, marketing, just kind of getting dope artwork, getting creative artwork. You know, I had a conversation with one guy, he's like, just have your character do something simple, like just out there living, like eating a pizza on top of a building or something like that, you know, like just having creative artwork, you know, artwork that people can relate to and brings them into it, you know. But those are my 4 points. I hope I didn't miss anything. I kind of talk fast and have ADHD, but those are things that people ask me a lot. Like, these are questions I get all the time about comic book creating. Like I said, I'm just starting myself, and these are things that, that have helped to me. So kind of wanted to tell y'all that. So remember, first off, write it, get your idea down on paper. Okay. Don't leave it all up in your head. Join the community, be a part of it, like people's posts, engage, talk to fans. People hit you up, talk to them. I'm always willing to talk to everybody. Talk to fans, engage, be in the community, follow artists, follow colorists, like, be around, and then finding your artists, finding your people, finding your team. All right. Go out and find them. Since you're already in a community, that should help you. They should, sometimes they easily may just come to you. Like, when you start promoting and marketing, these people will just come to you and find you, say, hey, I'm an artist, I do this, I do that, these are my prices. If you're looking for somebody, hit me up. All right. So, like, all these steps literally go hand in hand and will help you as a new creator. And if you have any more questions, you can easily just hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. You already know. You can follow me at YoANerd at 615 Comics. Hit me up on 615comics.com, and I'm willing to answer all questions. All right. So these are my tips for new creators, and I hope that really helped y'all. And I hope y'all understood and all my rambling and ADHD and everything. But that is my tips for new creators. And like I said, I really hope that helps y'all. And I'll be making more of these videos, giving tips and things that I'd like to do, that things I think help me with comic book creating. So thank y'all. If you haven't subscribed and liked the channel, subscribe and like the channel right now. All right. Subscribe and like it right now. Peace, y'all.